So now let's move on to our next topic, as we are aware about the sources of energy. So now we'll be dividing the sources of energy into two parts. First, renewable sources of energy, and the second are the non-renewable sources of energy. So what is the renewable source of energy? So what is the renewable source of energy? Renewable sources are the sources which are not limited on earth. That means if we are taking the energy from these sources, they won't be getting exhausted or extinct. That means they are present in limitless quantity, and even our future generations can use those resources. So for example, sun, it is present from billions of years and it will be present for next billions of years. That means if we are using the solar energy, it has no effect on sun, because there are various chemical reactions that are happening in sun that can produce a lot of energy, and we can use the solar energy in limitless amount. So the second type of energy, that is the non-renewable energy. That means this energy is in limited stock, that if we are using it, we have to use it very judicially, because if we will be using it very carelessly, it will get extinct, and the future generation, that is our children or grandchildren or their grandchildren, they will have a lot of problem because they can get extinct. So renewable sources of energy are the energy sources that can be reused and they do not get exhausted. Example, sun, air and water. Now the non-renewable sources of energy are the energy that get exhausted over a period of time, and they cannot be replenished easily if we are not using it judicially. Example, coal and petroleum. So now what is fuel? Fuel, anything that provides us energy on burning, is known as fuel. It can be a solid fuel, a liquid fuel or a gaseous fuel. Suppose we are using LPG gas in our home, that is, when we are burning that LPG gas, we get fire and we are able to cook our food. So the solid fuel, example of a solid fuel is coal. We all know that we burn coal to run our trains. Example of liquid fuel, that is kerosene. We use it to burn woods and produce fire. And the example of gaseous fuel, that is LPG, liquefied petroleum gases, and the main component of LPG is butane. So now we'll be studying the ideal characteristics of fuel. So if we have to use anything as a fuel, what all are the criteria? That it must cover or it must fall in that parameter to be characterized as fuel. So the first thing, that is, it should be very cheap. That means each and every individual, whether high class, middle class or even the poor people, they should be able to easily afford this fuel. The second characteristic says that it should be easily available and it should be easy to store. That means if we are using a fuel, we should be very comfortable in storing them. We should not be very scared that if we are storing this fuel, it might get burned or catch fire. The third characteristic, that it must have a very high calorific value. So now what is calorific value? The calorific value is the amount of energy produced when we are burning the 1 gram of fuel. So that means if we have to characterize it as an ideal fuel, the calorific value must be very, very high, so that we get maximum amount of energy by burning just 1 gram of fuel. So now the fourth characteristic, that is, it should have a proper ignition temperature. Now what is the ignition temperature? Ignition temperature stands for the temperature at which our fuel will be catching fire. So it shouldn't be very high, because if it is very high, it will catch fire within fraction of second, and that could be harmful or hazardous situation for us. And the ignition temperature should not be very low, because then we'll have to provide it with a large amount of energy to extract energy from it. So even that's not a very favorable situation for being an ideal fluid. So the ignition temperature must be moderate, neither too high nor too low. And finally, it should not leave any residue. That means that on burning, it should not be leaving any ash, soot or any harmful gases that might cause us allergy or any respiratory disorder. So these are all the characteristics of ideal fuel. That means first, easily available, easy to store, cheap, high calorific value. Fifth is that it should have a moderate ignition temperature, and finally it should not be leaving any residue that is harmful to us. So now, as we have covered all the characteristics of an ideal fluid and we are complete with the type of sources of energy, now I'll be giving you one question to test this part of the topic that we have covered. So I'll be giving you the question. You can pause the video, or I'll take a break of 30 seconds and then let's see what is the answer to this question. So the question reads that we have to classify the following given options into types of resources, that is either renewable source of energy or non-renewable source of energy. So the first thing is diesel oil. The second thing is flowing water. The third thing says geothermal energy, and the fourth thing says that is the nuclear energy. So take your time or pause the video and divide the following four things as renewable or non-renewable sources of energy. Now let's have a look at the answers. You can match your answers, or if those who are not very clear, we'll be clearing all your doubts while giving the answers. So the first point, that was the diesel oil. So we all know that diesel oil is a limited source of energy. That means if we'll be using it very carelessly, it will get extinct. So the diesel oil will be categorized under non-renewable sources of energy. That is the second thing given to you was flowing water. Now what is flowing water? We have all the water bodies and they'll be keep flowing. So if we are using the hydral energy, because from flowing water we always get hydral energy, so it is not a limited source. We can use it now, and even our future generation can use this energy. It is not present in a limited stock, so it is categorized as a renewable source of energy. Now the third point says geothermal energy. So geothermal energy, that is we are getting it from the radioactive rocks present in Earth. So that is also a renewable source of energy. And finally, the last option that we read, that was the nuclear energy. So the nuclear energy is present in a limited stock and we have to use it very judiciously because it might get extinct if we are using it carelessly. So it is categorized as non-renewable sources of energy. Now another question can be asked from this part, that why coal is considered to be an ideal fluid. So what we will be doing is we'll be categorizing all the characteristics of an ideal fluid that we have studied. That first, it should be cheap. Second, it must be easy to store. Third point was that it must have a very high calorific value that the coal has. Fourth, the ignition temperature might be moderate. That means neither too high nor too low. That is very apt for the coal given to us. And the fifth point was that it must not leave any harmful residue, and coal doesn't leave any harmful residue, so it can be categorized as ideal fluid. So this was all the question that can come from this part. So now let's move on to our next topic.